Well, from Baltimore all the way to East Lansing and everywhere in between, you know we cannot stop the beat, especially when Broadway's Tony Award-winning Best Musical is in town.
That's right, and one girl is making sure the beat is living on, and that's Caroline Eiseman, or should we say Tracy Turnblad. Welcome into Studio 10.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here.
Well, Caroline, Nicole and I know the story of Hairspray pretty well because we've both been in local productions. But for those of us who don't know, tell us, what is Hairspray all about?
Hairspray is a story about a girl named Tracy who is living her life in Baltimore in the 60s and just loves her community and loves to dance and sees no issue when everybody wants to be able to do that. And so it's kind of a journey of love and acceptance through a time where there isn't too much of that.
And lucky for you, you get to lead this story of love and acceptance as Tracy, which is a huge dancing and singing track. And you can't forget all of those wigs, those costume changes. But Caroline, how do you keep your stamina through this tour?
So this is my second year with the tour, but this is my first time in the role full time. So we are about 5 weeks into our run, and it has been an amazing learning process. I definitely did a lot of cardio over the summer trying to prep myself for it because I leave the stage about 4 times in the 2.5 hours of the show. A couple more to take a sip of water, but I am like off stage on a break about 4 times, and it is a harder track than I've ever done before in my life.
Just a sip of water? Girlfriend, that is not enough. But especially doing this the second time around, I'm sure you've mastered it. But something else I wanted to ask. So Hairspray debuted in 2002, but the setting of the show takes place in the 60s, but yet the message of the show still here in 2023 is something people love, know, and of course still resonate with. But why do you think that is?
I think, it's a great question. I think that this story is more timely than ever. I think, as it's been almost 60 years since this story takes place, and the relationships in our country and the stereotypes in our country continue to be learned and evolved. And so as they learn and evolve, we learn and evolve as people. And I think that this story resonates just as much as it did 60 years ago in the 60s, and just as much as it did 20 years ago when it was on Broadway. And I love that this story has so much poignance even 20 years later. I think we need it now more than ever.
We couldn't agree more, and we can't wait to see it all unfold on the stage at Wharton Center. But is there a particular moment that you personally look forward to each night?
I definitely think, well, I Can Hear the Bells is my favorite. It is just the best moment for Tracy. I think it's like pure bliss. But I get to be on stage for I Know Where I've Been, and I get to take a back seat. I don't sing, I don't speak. I just get to watch the story that's being told around me. And that is a very rare treat. I think that that's not something that's built into a lot of roles these days. It's just to sit and watch how your castmates tell a story. So that's one of my favorite parts of the show too.
Oh, I have goosebumps just thinking of that.
No, I can really hear the bells, but just like you told us, you're barely leaving the stage, but are there any moments perhaps that happen backstage, that anything perhaps you or you and the cast do to help prepare you for the big night ahead?
There's always something going on backstage. This cast is a blast. It is so much fun. And because of the nature of the show, there are so many of us. So it's like every corner of the theater that you look into, there's something crazy going on.
Oh, fun. Well, I know you guys have this prep down to basically a science because you've been doing this for weeks. But how long does it really take you to get ready for the show, wig, makeup, and all?
So I get my wig on a half hour before the show, so I have to be there like at least an hour before. And last year I did the show once a week. I was the standby for Tracy, and I'm still settling into her, I think. So I definitely give myself kind of like an hour and a half before the show starts to just breathe.
Well, Caroline, it was such a pleasure getting to know you and learning how the magic of Hairspray comes together. But one last thing. If you could sum up the entire experience of Hairspray in one lyric from the show, what would it be?
I'll eat some breakfast, then change the world.
I love that. I don't think we would have ever thought that, but that is a perfect thing. I feel like we should get it tattooed on our arm.
You should, okay.
No, but we can't wait to see it all. Break a leg, and thank you so much for joining us.
And if you want to watch the magic of Hairspray, the show runs at Wharton Center tomorrow through December 3rd, and you can purchase your tickets at whartoncenter.com. We'll see you there.